He gave me red, like it's about to start.
It's about to start. Hey fam, welcome to Wine Talk. It just happens to be Tuesday, so lucky for me, lucky for you. I am here with Takina Wilson, who is a wine producer extraordinaire, a mom, an entrepreneur, a hustler, a health professional, and just, I have to say, an all round nice person. So, thank you for being you, and thank you for spending the time with us today. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for having me, Leslie, and thank you for those kind words. I wasn't expecting that, but it makes me feel good. Thank you. I'm glad that you feel that way about me
Yeah,
because that's the message I want to give. Anyway.
no, you are. I wouldn't have said that. I would have been like, and she's a wine producer. So let's get into the questions. So, so
So
today, oh, go ahead, go ahead.
I was just, I don't know. I've never done one of these, so bear with me. I'm just trying
Mhm.
to get the lay of the land. So we jump right in. Do we get to see if who our audience is, or do they get to participate with us? It's just one question I had, like as housekeeping.
Oh, yes, most definitely. So I'm not sure if you can see it on your end, but
Okay.
yes, definitely people are able to participate. They're able to post comments. And when people do post comments, and I'll just post one now. So let's just put one in there. And and then it pops up. I don't know. Can you see it on your screen?
This says welcome, fam.
Yes.
Oh,
Hmm.
okay, perfect then.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
I just
if
wanted to know just in case something came up I didn't know, just
oh
wanted
no,
to be
not at
on
all.
record.
Yeah, and so if your followers are tuning in, then and they can post questions or comments, and we'll put them right there on the screen.
Ooh, it's a good time to put me in a hot seat. Ask away. I can't say no. We're live, so
Right?
here
Just
we
like
are.
I mean, this is the Washington D.C. area, and so what somebody taught me a long time ago was just answer the question, just provide the answer you want people to know.
Right. That is a media technique, actually.
Hmm. Just what you want them to know. Just
Hmm.
yeah. Um,
I'll be
so
practicing that tonight.
yeah, practice that. So, but not with me. Um, so tonight's topic is legacy and
Hmm.
building legacy. And I know that's really important for you, building legacy for your daughters. And can you talk about like why is that so important, and is that why you started Castlebridge?
Well, thank you for asking me that question. I think it's really important to kind of discuss like what legacy means to me and to Castlebridge. So, um, you get to a certain point in your life, and I'm at that point, that age, where you start thinking about what do you want to leave behind? What do you want to stand for? What do you want people to say about you when you're no longer on this earth? And that's when things became, clear to me that I wanted to do something that was going to be long lasting.
Mhm.
I want to be able to impact my community, others, and I want to be someone that is spoken about in history. So, when, now we're looking at people who have been pioneers in different areas of, society and research and just moving things forward. I want to be one of those people that, the younger folks talk about as a person who was a leader in their time and really did a lot to change how things were working in different systems, whatever that may be. And mine happens to be within wine. It also happens to be in healthcare. So both of those things are very important to me. And then I just want to set an example. Another thing that's really important to me is about generational wealth and creating that. For my children, especially, I want them to see that, and I want to continue to grow that throughout our lineage. So it has to start somewhere in your family. It has to start, I guess it just happened to be me, something I really wanted to do, and it's important to me. And that's, what legacy kind of means to me at this point in time, and why I thought about Castlebridge as an opportunity to forge that process, because, this is something that I've created all on my own. Everything else I've had to do working is with teams. And when you're working with teams, you have input. Doesn't mean your thoughts or your ideas are always going to come to fruition. And even with the wine business, I get to be really creative, and I get to be the boss and say yes or no, like be the final decision. But I do value input from others. That's really important. I mean, I can't have all the thoughts, but at least allow me to have an opportunity to lead in a way that I've never been able to, and be able to put my stamp on it as my baby, and something that I can be proud of, that I started, that, has my vision in place and the mission that I've established to set us off. And I hope that the rest is history to come.
Well, I mean,
Sorry,
I
that was
think
long-winded. I'm
no,
sorry.
I know. I think that's good because a lot of people now are, um, especially in my age group, are considering like, how are we going to make this place a better place than we left it? And I think it's great that you're thinking about that, not just for your children, but for people around you, and establishing that footprint. So why did you choose wine? Why Castlebridge?
Okay, so thank you for asking that question too.
Uh-huh.
I think it's important for people to understand sort of the background and how I got here. But, one of the things was I enjoy wine. In most of my social settings, there was always wine a part of it. And, coming from a healthcare situation where you see people, they're in need, they're not happy, sometimes they're struggling with things, they're not always pleasant, but no one has ever not been pleasant with wine.
This is true. This
So,
is true.
I
Yes.
was like, well, if I'm going to do something different, I definitely want to do something that brings joy almost all the time. And that's how I wanted Castlebridge to be a part of people's lives, to bring joy, to bring love, to bring happiness, to bring relaxation, girl talk, relationship talk, all things positive and inspiring and all of that stuff. So that's the reason why, I decided to do wine, because I enjoyed it. It was a
Hmm.
part of my circles, and every time I came encounter or with friends and we enjoyed wine, it was always a good time, you know,
Yeah.
for so.
And you have a very strong following. Like whenever I see you around town, people love your wine, they love your product, and just the whole packaging. It's not just the wine, but it is definitely an experience, and you make people feel very comfortable when you're hosting events or you're pouring wine. So I think it's a good vibe that you put out there. And again, it's hard to be nasty around wine.
It is. And one of the things I wanted to say based on what you just said to me was that, I went, and I have my bottles nearby. So,
Oh, please, yes, please show. That
illustrated, but
that is a showstopper right there. Like,
okay. So yeah, this is the Black Beauty is what I call this bottle, even though this is our Cabernet Sauvignon. It is a 2021 Cabernet from Northern California, so Napa Valley right here. So this is a really good product, high quality. But one of the things I wanted to speak about was just the whole process. Even with the labels, they're very intentional. Like, I
mm,
take a lot of time and effort to design something that's going to be very meaningful and purposeful, to go along and to match the wine that's in the bottle. So one of the things just about me in general is that I really am a very particular person, and so that cascades throughout my life, and it's represented in the wine. I'm not going to produce anything that's going to be inferior. I'd rather scrap it because my name means a lot to me, and the brand means a lot. I stand behind that, or it's part of me.
Mhm.
So I really take a lot of time and consideration into what I produce, how it's produced, the labeling, the bottling, who I'm working with, through the whole entire process. So just wanted to mention that. So I think that's important for people to know.
It is. Can you hold up the bottle again because I
So
didn't get a full. Yeah,
I'm
hold
sorry,
it
I
up.
don't know how this is looking, or can you see it, or
Yeah, hold it up a little higher so
oh,
people can
there
see
we
it. Yes,
go.
there
Yeah.
you go. Because the bottle is stunning.
Right.
You
And
know,
you
it
can get
captures
this
your eye.
from the Wine Concierge. So buy up. Ching ching. Let's do it.
So you have 3 wines.
Yes, and I have them all here today so everyone can take a look, and I can tell you a little bit about them, if I have time.
Oh no, yes. So you have the cab that you just showed.
Right. And then we have a 2022 Pinot Noir,
Hmm.
also from Napa Valley. And some of the grapes are from Lodi, California, which is still Northern California, but everything is processed in Napa Valley. And I also have a rosé. This is a still rosé. It's a 2021 rosé. It is beautiful. It's my favorite. It's the baby. This is the first wine I started with. And it's my favorite wine. So if you want to know, um, there you go.
What is
And
the
I have one more thing. What?
I was going to ask you, what are the grapes in the rosé?
The grape are a Zinfandel, Petit Syrah, Cabernet Franc, and then there's Grenache and some other mixes,
Hmm.
blends in that. But it's a pretty big varietal, like a mix.
It well, we included it in our winter wine club.
Mm.
And people don't think of
Rosé in
rosés,
the winter.
but it held its own. It held its own,
Let
and
me
people
tell you
really enjoyed
something.
it.
That is
Mhm.
my favorite wine. I have gone to places with my friends, and I smuggle my wine in. I'm going to tell you the truth because to me, it's really good and I love it. And so, and we finished it and we were like, oh my God, now what are we going to do? We have no more wine left. So we went and bought another bottle of wine, and we were just so disappointed. It was just like, no, we don't like it. But anyway, I really love my rosé. It was my first wine I created, and I drink it in the winter. I drink it in the summer, spring, and fall, all year round. That's my go-to, and I also have it in a can, which is a new. People are really loving the sparkling rosé in the can as well. So anyway, all that to say, that's my favorite is the baby, and it is really good. And don't sleep on it. You can have rosé in the winter. So
Definitely.
you can also purchase this from the Wine Concierge. Let's do that.
Let's do that. So okay, so I wanted to ask you a question about the canned wine.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so people are starting to get more comfortable with canned wine. I think the production is much better. It's convenient, like you can take it to the beach. You definitely can take it to the pool, like you don't have to worry about the glass thing. But what was, especially starting off, people are resistant to doing something different when they first start off and they, stick with the norm. What made you decide, let's go for the can in the beginning?
That's a good question. So part of it was like, okay, looking, again, I'm outside, and especially I'm a summer girl. Like I love being with sunny days. That's my jam. So, and you go to outdoor events and they have
Especially I'm a
canned
summer
wine.
girl. Like I
And
love.
so I just thought that that would be, looking at different target markets,
Mhm.
I thought that would be a great idea. And I had the opportunity to do that with the bottling company. So I was just like, if this is here, I definitely want to, try this out. I will tell you in the beginning, I did get a lot of like no's and noses up in the air, like, no, we're not doing that. That's like really degrading wine like experience by having it in a can. And then, but there's certain folks who really, that's all they want because it's convenient, it's easy, you can take it somewhere, it's not messy. You can open it easily, so you don't need to
Mhm.
work and screw, all that kind of stuff. So, um, it just seemed like a good idea. What I was taking a chance, but it worked out for me, and I like love those cans of wine, and people are always purchasing those. So,
Yeah, I think they're cool. We have a few canned beverages on our site. It's really seasonal, but it's so convenient. It's
but
so convenient. And the quality the technology has improved so much for cans.
yeah, my fulfillment company was like, oh, we don't like to ship these. They're not really good with shipping, but I have had no problems with anything like, any combustion or anything like that. They've shipped
Mhm.
really well. So yeah, and there's a lot like the cut waters are very popular nowadays.
Mhm.
And our rosé is just so cute. It's like really cute. Look at it again. Isn't
It
it cute?
is.
So
It
I mean, and it's slick. You don't even know. This could be like an energy drink. It could be a whole bunch of things. So they're very, and that was the other thing that was intentional. I wanted it to be sleek. I didn't want, because this is a 250 ml can, and it could have gone, I could have gotten, I don't know what the next size up, but that's the standard where you see in a beer size.
right. Mhm.
Yeah. So I was like, no, it has to be slim and cute, right? So yeah.
So, I noticed you have two reds and a rosé.
Mm-hmm.
And often people start off with a rosé or a white wine. So why did you decide to go straight to the reds?
Well, because I produce wine in Napa Valley, the grapes are really ripe and good for red wines up there. So that was part of it. And even with the rosé, there is 50% is just like all red grapes. So there's something coming from
Right.
that area. So I have just not found the right grape yet to make, a white wine. I
Hmm.
want to, because then that will complete the portfolio and I'll at least have one in each category. But I just have not figured that part out yet. I also, want to like focus on what I'm doing and continue to build, the business as before I add another varietal. So that's also weighing into it. But really, it comes down to I haven't found what I like yet.
No, that makes sense. I mean, you do what works best for you and what people like. I have to say, the Pinot Noir is my favorite.
Mhm.
I really like the Pinot Noir. Yeah.
It is a fan favorite.
Mhm.
Everybody has their thing.
You're like, no, mine is the rosé.
No,
But yeah,
but
I really
what
enjoy
I'm gonna tell you,
it.
what is really cool is when I go to other places and I taste other wines and I sort of try to compare it. And I can like, take is there's subtle notes sometimes. They're not like huge,
Mhm.
but it's really great to say I can punch above this, like I'm on this weight
Yeah.
class with
Mhm.
these other wines. And I just want to make sure that people understand that like you are getting quality wine with Castlebridge. Like it is as good as some of the brands because they do a lot of marketing, that people buy and love. Try it out. This is another option, is what I would say.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question that it's a quality wine. That
Mhm.
that is not to be doubted at all. I think with smaller brands and why we chose to work with smaller brands is just getting the message out there
Mhm.
because people get used to, their favorite wine that they buy from a large store, what have you, and it tastes the same every year. And with, smaller brands, there's so much character that is built into the wine production process that you're not going to get that from that same wine year after year after year.
True. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and I think the Pinot has a whole lot of character to it. So I so my so the topic is legacy, and my question to you is, if somebody was thinking about starting a wine brand or just starting a company, um, what should they consider in trying to build a legacy and trying to establish that footprint?
Hmm. So, I see comments popping up. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, well, why don't you answer this one first? Welcome,
Okay.
Terrence.
So, what I would say is that if you're ever going to be an entrepreneur, I think that you really have to. It has to be in your heart. There has to be some passion behind that because it's not for the faint at heart. It's hard.
Mm-hmm.
It is hard work. It is constantly encouraging yourself and finding inspiration because there's a lot of like things thrown at you. And especially if you're going into an industry where you do not have experience, you're not trained. And even if you, depending on where you come in, especially with wine, there's still a lot to learn. I'm learning. I'm still in the process of learning. Excuse me. But first, you have to have passion. That's number one. And then you want to have purpose. Even if it's, yes, you want to make money because you want to continue to be able to build the business and pay for, to live and that type of thing. But it has to really, you have to have really good purpose and it has to be meaningful and, back to passion and meaningful. And it's just like, because it's just really, really hard work. And I think that when you're passionate, you have meaning and purpose for what you're doing, it helps you when it's not really good. And it helps you to think about it where you're not always worried about the money because you'll come up with ideas because it's in your heart. And I just think that from your heart all things flow in these type of endeavors.
Mm-hmm.
I have spent many times like just sitting there like, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? Like thinking about it, and then I make some certain steps and like kind of come together. But you just, when you have these ideas from passion and meaning, I think that you don't get bored of it, you don't get tired of it, you just keep going, and it gives you the motivation and the drive to continue. So that's the first thing. I think that also understanding that, legacy, creating a legacy is you have to be thinking down the road. And this is something else that I'm also sort of considering. And I was speaking to some estate attorneys about things, and they were like, what if your children don't want to take your business? And like you got to think about it like, okay, well, maybe not, but at least I'm instructing them in certain ways. They're seeing my entrepreneurship, they're seeing what I'm doing, that kind of thing. So I just say to others that your impact may not be immediate, but it takes time. And then also look for your succession plan. Have one in place.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If you want the business to continue to thrive, and you're putting your heart and soul in it, so I guess you would. So, that's one of the things I try to, rope my daughters into. Now they still have their own intentions, and I support that, but they get to see what I'm doing, and I get to like bring them in as much as I can, so that they can just learn from what I'm doing. But again, I think it starts with just having passion, having purpose, and commitment. And I think that with the passion and the purpose, the motivation to be there, and you'll continue to work through all of the challenges that come along with being an entrepreneur and trying to establish a legacy. Now, if you come without a bunch of means to start, I would just say that it's different when you've already had someone else started, but I'm sort of starting that out for my family to some extent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That it's funny because I met this woman who she sells businesses,
Mm.
And I forget what they call this. It's the silver something, but this is like the largest band, and people like between 60 and 70 years old that are planning to retire, and they're selling their businesses. And
Mm.
she said that someday she feels like a healthcare provider and counselor, because she's meeting these people who are interested in selling their businesses, and they wanted to leave their businesses to their children, and their children are like, no, I don't have that. And so it's that emotional piece of trying to get over the fact that I am not able to leave the business to my family. I've worked so hard for it and I have so much pride. But what she did say, and exactly what you said, is that they take comfort in the lessons that their kids learn, because their kids are successful in other areas, but they saw that and they witnessed the work ethic and things that go into being a successful business, working along the side of their parents. So it's really interesting how you clued in on that piece.
Yeah, and I do
Mhm.
hope that one of my girls decides somewhere down the road
Right.
to take the lead. They don't have to be like, intricate into it, but at least continue to keep the company
Mhm.
going under some type of like, lineage from us. So that would
Right.
be cool, but we'll see. One wants to go into CIA and the other wants a theater dancer, singer, so we'll see.
But they come around. They they come around. Um,
Yeah.
so we have Terrence here who says he loves Castlebridge. And
Yay.
what is your vision in the next 5 to 10 years down the road?
That's such a big question. Okay, so if I had to dream, and that's basically what I'm doing, because it's hard as an entrepreneur to sort of say, I got a plan 5 to 10 years that's really going to, but you have to dream. That's the vision. So I would love to be able to, okay, so Castlebridge will pivot slightly and we'll probably create some offsets of Castlebridge, because I would like to have a restaurant slash tasting room in Maryland. So that's hot in my head, and I would love to be able to do that, to really extend the wine from brick and mortar and retail, and actually have a tasting room. So that probably, and just expansion. I will say that I have taken some steps back, and I really want to focus on the DMV. I
Mhm.
think there's a lot to expand and explore in terms of like being right here in the area. And I just want to state, even though I produce wine in Northern California, I live locally in the DMV. And so I really, back to impact in my community, really want to be a part of this community and sharing my wine in that community. So I'm going to focus a little bit more time and attention here in expansion, and then hopefully work towards getting that my own establishment, where I can definitely have Castlebridge and other wines available. So um, stay tuned.
Yes. So can you explain to people, how does that work? Because they're like, you have grapes in California, but you live on the East Coast. How do you make that work?
It's a balancing act. So the good thing is that California is 3 hours behind us, and
Mhm.
so I can do a lot of work and then follow up and still be like midday in their area. So that helps out a lot, the time zone differences. But, I will make trips out there, and I try to make them strategically, sort of like during harvest season, spending
Mhm.
some time out there. And then from there, I can kind of fall, I don't need to be there all the time. And then I will circle back sometime like right now. Um,
Mhm.
then like one more time, pretty much like in the summer, and that's pretty much it. I have a lots of like, thank God for technology. It allows us to communicate, um, and So that helps, being able to connect with people through different mediums. I can still get work done, and I just have to have enough energy to stay up to be on a different time zone. So, but otherwise, that's how I sort of manage being in two different time zones and running business in a totally different state than where I live.
So I have one more question for you.
Okay.
Uh, you had told me this interesting story about how you got started, and you said it was you were either going to start the business or you were going to build a pool. Do you regret not building the pool?
Oh, wow. Oh, that's a good question. So I do. You can't see behind me because it's dark, but a
Uh-huh.
bottle is still there. It's ready. I see it. I see it in my future. It will happen, but I don't regret it. I don't regret it at all. I'm glad I made this decision because, again, what I wanted was something long lasting and something very meaningful, and what I'm going to, and a legacy. And that's what we're talking about today. But really, that made it clear for me. It's like, okay, what do you want to be known for? What impact do you want to leave on this earth when you're no longer here? And I felt like that would be memorable. And we are making memories. We just had the first annual, maybe we'll have a second, Black women winemakers in Maryland event, which was very well received, and a beautiful curated event where we tasted wines produced by Black women in Maryland. And I think that's exciting. And that was history. So here we go. I'm starting it already. But I hope to be doing more of that and really being able to pour in where I can. There's always got to be that philanthropy side of things that's really meaningful to me that I want to make sure I do. So anyway, thank you for, the pool is coming.
The pool is
I
coming.
still have friends that say, "Hey, why didn't you do the pool?" And I'm like, they were like, right now we could be in the pool. And I'm like, I know, but here we are.
There we go.
Buy some more Castlebridge wine and we'll get the pool. How about
Yes, exactly. Exactly. So I just have some fun closeout questions,
that? Okay.
nothing too serious. Um, what is or was your go-to snowstorm snack?
Mm. So recently it was Grandma Ut's potato chips, Twizzlers, and gummy bears. And gummy bears were at the top of the list, actually. So I'm sad to report that I ate the whole bag. I don't know. I think it might have been like a 1 pound bag of gummy bears. So that was my jam for during this snowstorm, the recent snowstorm.
Now, did you have them together, or was it like, okay, I'm having the gummy bears and then I'm going to have some potato chips?
So now, Leslie, my guilty pleasures are being revealed. Why
Ah!
would we do that?
Like, let me tell you,
So,
I love a potato chip. And so I
I
don't buy
love
it.
potato chips too.
Yeah, I don't buy it because I love it so much. I'm not that girl who's like, oh, I'm gonna take a handful and just, no.
God, it's terrible. I saw this message one of my friends sent me today. It's like, why are you buying a family size bag of chips? There's only two of you in there. I'm like, exactly, but I think that I'm gonna ration myself out and I'm gonna only eat like one serving per,
Yeah.
per serving. I'm gonna have one serving. But anyway. Um, so I had the gummy bears alone and I
Okay.
savored every bit of the juices of the gummy bear. But then I had the potato chips, so I was fighting salt and sweet. So, but
Yeah,
anyway.
I would have done them together because I like that sweet salty combination.
Hmm.
Like, I haven't done that, but now that you say it, it's like that could be a possibility.
So have you ever tried pretzels with ice cream?
No, only because ice cream is the only snack I don't like.
Darn. Oh my God, Leslie, it's so good. It's so good. Pretzels and ice cream.
Yeah,
And that
I
was
don't
my
like the
go-to when I was
texture.
younger. I don't really eat a lot of ice cream now, but that was
Mhm.
really good.
Yeah, it's the texture. I don't like that cold cream
Mm,
and fixation. But I will eat fake ice cream because it gets a little like, back in the day when you went to the ice cream truck and they had like the strawberry shortcake.
mm.
And it's
I
not
know,
it's not
that's still my favorite dessert, by the way.
oh, okay. It's
Yeah.
not real ice cream and it's
It
not
was like
like
a
super
whipped
cold.
cream sometimes, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could do that. Yeah.
That's my go-to. I still love that. Mm.
Okay, so if you lost power, did you lose power?
Oh, I didn't lose power, thank God.
Thank good. Yes. If you did, would you play a board game or would you read a book?
I would read a book.
Hmm.
Yeah, I had my flashlights ready right on my side table just in case I had a lighter for candles. I was ready and books. I have so many books to read that I haven't gotten to. And
Mhm.
it's just like, first of all, I think that ADHD is kicking in some days and I just can't calm my brain down. So, and that's unfortunate because I really, really do love reading, right? And that was one
Mhm.
of the things I enjoyed too. But yeah, I would have done the reading. I was prepared.
I that's funny because I went to the store Saturday and I was like, I need to get batteries. Like we usually don't lose power, but I was like, just in case I need to get me some batteries. And over Christmas, I started hand knitting. And so you know how you see those really big. So I made like two of those. And
Oh, wow, you were really working hard. Did you lose power?
no, well, over Christmas holiday, I
Oh,
made
okay.
two of them. I made one
Oh,
for
you
my
were just
best
saying
friend.
over oh, that was a
Yeah.
period. I'm
But
thinking like,
it doesn't take long. Like I would say it takes maybe 5 hours to make a blanket.
mm,
And I noticed something. It's funny that you mentioned um ADHD because I noticed I can't sit and watch TV. Like I have to be doing something. So so I was planning for like if the power goes out, then I can just knit another blanket. Like I have yarn here
Lord,
and I could just sit there
terrible.
and do that. Yeah.
I just think it's just we're multitasking so much nowadays, and I think that it just doesn't allow you to settle,
It
and
doesn't.
your
Like
mind is
time.
constantly running as you're
Exactly.
running. Again, that's entrepreneurship for you.
Mhm. It is
It is,
constantly going.
yeah.
Yes.
We're
It is.
constantly thinking.
Yeah.
The best time for me is taking a shower. I swear to goodness, I will take a
Me
30-minute shower,
too.
and I
Yes.
will think about all kinds of things. I get my best ideas. I guess no one can interrupt me, so I'm just like, this is the best time.
And
Yes,
you're relaxed. Like,
yeah.
yeah, me too. I like think of so and I was okay, don't judge me, but I was
Oh,
thinking about like putting some type of like dry erase board or something in the shower. So then I could
that's a
just write
lot.
it down.
That's a lot, but I understand capturing your notes. So here, on that line of thinking, so
Mhm.
sometimes in the middle of the night, I want to write something down because a thought came to me. But the thing about it is if I get myself all the way up, I probably won't go back to sleep. So I'm fighting with myself. The thought still stays there. And I said,
Mhm.
just try to remember it. And I never do. And I am at that point. I'm seriously, I think I'm going to get a recorder that just I can record a note and just set, continue to
And
sleep.
just going, yeah.
Sleep. Anyway, because it happens at these random moments and I just want to record something, boom, so I can remember it and come back to that thought. But anyway,
Oh, yeah. It
managing
makes
all of these thoughts are a lot.
it makes sense because you're in a relaxed mode. And so that's when things come to the surface. Uh, Okay, so my last question is if you could only have one wine
Ooh.
for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Leslie, I guess it's not even a hard question to be quite honest with you. It would be Castlebridge
There
Rose.
you go.
Ding, 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 ding.
There you go. Exactly.
So, which you can purchase all of my wine from the Wine Concierge. I just want to say that one more time.
Yes. And we ship and deliver. But if they were to purchase it someplace else, where else could they find your
You
wines?
can purchase on castlebridgewine.com, which we have free shipping as well. You also can go to Total Wines. They carry our Cabernet Sauvignon. You can go to Woodmore Wine and Spirit. They carry all of our varietals. Also, L. London's carries all of our varietals. And we're at the in Annapolis at the Wine Village, and they carry all of our varietals there too. And there's the wine shop in Waldorf. They carry our Pinot Noir. And we're in DC at Chat's Liquor,
Mm,
and also at House Bar. And they carry all
cool.
of our varietals as well.
Very cool. And how can they find you?
Castlebridge Wine. Just remember Castlebridge Wine. So it's castlebridgewine.com, Castlebridge Wine on social media. It's Takina, Takina.Wilson at castlebridgewine.com.
Thank you so much. Is there anything else you'd like to share with the people?
Well, one, I just want to say thank you again, Leslie, for inviting me to be a part of your show. I hope that, our participants, our attendees really got an opportunity to learn more about Castlebridge Wine and will give us a shot. We would appreciate your support in any way. So thank you all for tuning in.
Thank you. Thank you so much for taking time to chat with me. I know you're super busy and you have a lot of plates that you keep spinning. So thank you for the time and trusting us with your products. That means a lot to us. We take that very seriously. So those who are watching or you're watching it on the replay, if you like this program, make sure you subscribe to our channel because we're doing this on a regular basis. And we do this so you get to know the winemakers and about their wines and their thought process behind the wines and what they do. So thank you so much for those who joined us live and those who watch us on the replay. Take care, everyone.
Bye.